Going live. It says I am live. So hello everybody and welcome to DC Fine Art. And today I am mingling with cameras here. So yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. The live stream is going to be a little bit differently. I keep on looking up there, but I know the camera is right here. I'm working off of one camera because the basically the OBS that I was working with, the system, in order to have multi cameras and be able to work on live streaming, that was the thing that was crashing on me. It wasn't because of my what is it called? Because of my internet stream, or being able to have enough internet to be able to do a live stream. That wasn't the case. It was literally the OBS. So I am actually doing this live stream directly on YouTube, or like doing it directly off the app with no other thing, no other system. So basically what that means is that I have one camera and this is it. But at least I'm able to talk to you guys, do kind of like a live, be able to see your guys' chat and be able to work on the painting. The only downside to all of this is not having the multi-camera to be able to see the paints and me mix the paints while I work. But you will be able to see the painting and watch me paint, ask questions, and I'll be here to answer any questions. If you guys have any questions, or if you're just painting or drawing along to your own art projects, then you can always chat in and talk with me. That's always been fun. Anything as far as what I want to go over on what's new, they're really, well, actually Patreon, we do have reference photos that I'm going to start doing. So those are going to be for our Patreons. I do believe the tiers for the reference photos, if you are I think it's Sapphire tier and higher, you get 3 reference photos from me each month. And if you're on the Pearl tier, which is the highest tier, you get an extra 3 reference photos. And that's on top of getting the coloring pages that I'm doing. So reference photos and basically the coloring pages are new to Patreon. So there are free videos on there for anybody to go and watch and see if the lessons are right for you. There's one free video underneath each category of medium. So that way you can kind of choose and try it out for yourself. But other than that, if you guys are new, I'm working on this painting. It is a really big, I think it's like I want to say like an 18 by 24, 16 by 24. I used to have the thingy for it, but I don't know where it went. But it is a really big piece. I've been working on my hamster series. I've been doing different hamster paintings. And this one here is a really big one. So in order for me to create time through my busy schedule of having to do Patreon, and having to do YouTube videos, I have I want to manage my time and be able to work on my hamster series paintings. So every Tuesday, I'm going to be working on this, doing like a live. I like doing a live so that way I can chat with you guys whenever you guys come in. And we'll be working a little bit on it each time. So usually I go about 2 hours. This time, I don't know, I may end up only going an hour. But that just at least gives me time to be able to work on this painting. So let's go ahead and turn this around. I have to do this old school, you guys. So get to see my messy studio as I turn it around. All right, so we are right in this area. Let's make sure I can do this right here. Watch me not even be able to, let's see here. Yep, I'm caveman in it today. Hope you guys can bear with me on that. I'm hoping that I'll be able to find something, a system or something to be able to have a multi-camera again that will actually work. I don't know why OBS is not working. There we go. So you guys can see that. If I can screw this in and not get it all messed up. Great. Hey. Oh, 18 by 24. Okay, yeah. I was like, I had that little piece of paper and I read it at the beginning, but I can't remember. I'm like, I put up my ruler, so the ruler is gone. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, I know it's a pretty big piece. I've actually haven't really worked on one that big. I think it's getting dusty. Yep. Got a little dust going on there. That ain't good. It's taking me that long, I guess. But it's better taking longer than never. So, but we are going to do these little Easter eggs here. And in my reference photo, they were pink, they were green, and yellow. But I'm going to do a blue one. I'm actually going to make my Easter eggs the same color as the eggs that I did in that Easter one where we did like the eggs going around the corner of the canvas, because I like those. Those look really cute and it kind of goes with it. So we're going to start out doing one. Let's do it more of the pink color. So what I'm going to use is this rose pink. That's what I used before. And then I mix it in with my primary red on the Liquitex Basics. And that looks a little bit, whenever you take it out, it looks almost like a darker pink to me. And it looks very kind of not as red and vibrant. My baby just turned 21. Oh, well, happy birthday, 21. Wow. I know, my son's 19. He'll be 20 in January. So, but oh my goodness, they grow quick. Now my daughter, she's 12, but they go quick. Aww. I wish they would always stay little. I would absolutely love it if they'd always stay little. Okay, I'm going to give those colors a spritz. And if you're wanting to darken up those colors, like let's just say we do the pink or these two colors, and then of course we're going to have a white to brighten it. But I like to throw in a little bit of my Payne's Gray, just a little bit if I want to darken it. Don't tell my daughter that. She would dream big. She's 5 feet. My daughter, I keep on telling her, it's like she's gonna be so tall. I mean, she's 12 and she like wears the same shoe size as me. And I'm like, seriously? I'm like, you already got the same size shoe. Maybe you're going to end up being tall. So I tell her she's going to be a little model is what I tell her. I'm like, you're a little model. You're going to be tall and be like a little model. So then she tries to like do the walk. Like, hey, do I do the walk like this? And then she tries to do that walk and I just laugh. I think it's so funny. Okay. So I spritzed it with water. Let's go ahead and just lay in some of our base color. I always say a base color is because, and I say this with pretty much everything I work with, I use a base color, meaning that I can always go darker or lighter. So we're just going to kind of paint that in. I almost decided to put lotion on my hands just a moment ago because my hands have been so dry. Even on all my videos, it's so embarrassing because they're like so dry. And then I keep on thinking, no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they're dry because if my hands are dry, then I'm not getting a bunch of oils all over. Like right now I put my finger on my painting and I'm like, but my hands are so dry. They're like crispy. Yeah, that walk is crazy. Especially whenever she's like, all the pretty girls walk like this. And then she starts like over exaggerating. I'm like, oh my goodness. All right. Whatever. I said, here, let me do it. And then she's like, Mom, no. Like, okay, that ends it. I totally just like ruined it. I'm good at doing that. All right, so we got a base color in there. I'm going to let that dry. And while that is drying, I'm going to come over here and make this one. Should we do blue and then yellow? I'm thinking so. Now, the blue that I'm using is really nice. This is a really beautiful, beautiful blue. It's called Brilliant Blue. by Liquitex Basics. It is so gorgeous. Like, I love this color. And I'm not mixing it with anything. You know, this is just straight that same color because that's what I'm calling this my base color. So that way I can know I can go darker and I know that I can go lighter. Let's get those in there. Trying to get around some of those little wispy little nesting hay straws there. Oh, here comes my favorite train. Roar. They've been working on the train or like on the train tracks close to our house, so they have the road closed. And the train has been super silent today, but I guess they opened it back up because now here comes a train. And it'll go super slow and just blare its horn forever. Last night I was trying to go to sleep and it honked its horn and just kept it honking like it didn't stop. It just like honk. And I'm like, okay, it'll go away. I swear I was about ready to fall asleep, trying to fall asleep, and then it blares its horn again and just like left it blaring. And I swear I sat there for like 10-15 minutes for the train to go by. I don't know if he was like traveling at 5 miles an hour or 2 miles an hour, probably like 1 mile an hour. And I finally just said, would you just go? And then my daughter goes, hey, I was about ready to go to sleep. You woke me up. That's what I don't like about, let's see here, painting and drawing, because I hate my skin to be dry. I did buy that half 2-finger glove. Yeah, when I draw, that's supposed to protect your drawings from smudges. Yeah, that is true. I got 2 pairs of those. And yeah, I'll usually wear those. And then, like, I don't know. I haven't really been using them because I got that thing. If you've seen on my, here, I'll show you. I absolutely love it. And I switched over from using the gloves to just using this. But it's that clear, like, thing where you can just lay it on there and then you just rest your hand on it. This thing has been so awesome. Like, I love it. And I ended up not really using my gloves that much. Now, I could use it on this, but I don't know. I just didn't really think about it much. I was like, it passed my mind, but then I was like, nah, my hands are so dry. They're like, not gonna be too bad. It'll be all right. I ain't too worried about it. I wish I had one of those sticks that go on your easel. What is it called? That is actually, I got it from Jerry's Artorama. And oh my goodness, it has definitely slipped my mind. Well, let's see here. Looking it up. Oh, it's right here. I mean, you can get it on Amazon, but that one ain't that great. Oh, here we go. There's Jerry's. They call it a rest leaning bridge right here, and it says 24-inch, and that's like for a 24-inch. So that one ain't too bad. So yeah, they call it a artist hand rest leaning bridge 24-inch or something. But yeah, those, oh my God, I love it. Like, that it made a world of difference, and I've been using that all the time, even with my soft pastels. As long as you're laying flat on a table, like, I just rest my hand on it, and it's amazing because you can still see through it. All right, so let's do the yellow. Let me get me a mid-tone for the little egg. I'm gonna spritz it with some water. Just trying to get those base layer in there. Okay, now we got a yellow egg. So now that we got our base layers in, of course it looks flat. And with everything, you don't want it to be flat. So you're going to have to make it, use your contrast colors, like using your lights, using your darks to be able to make it rounded. Now, we have to remember, we still have a sparkler here. Of course, it's going to affect pretty much everything that's on here. So I had to throw that in, you know. Of course, I always like making a challenge out of all my artwork here. So threw in that sparkler that we're going to do at the very last. So if it's coming down, basically, you're going to have a lot of more lights bouncing off of probably this egg, a little bit on this one, probably not so much on this one, depending on how far back it's actually tucked in there. So we could have a little bit more of the darkness towards probably this side of it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab some of my primary red. I'm going to take it, I'm going to mix just a little bit of the pinkish color here. And we'll just see how it goes. If we end up needing it darker, then we could always make it darker, but really like to, I think the top should probably be lighter. Yeah. I'm going to try and smooth those edges out while it's still wet. I'm going to use some of my pink, just my regular pink. I'm going to kind of take that back a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take some of my pink and take a lot more of my white, and I'm going to make it a light pink. Probably bouncing more off this part. Looks like I whited it out on camera. It looks horrible on camera. My goodness. I look at it on the camera. I'm like, no, it doesn't look like that with your own eyes. But my bunnies kind of look that way too. It's like these here are a whole lot darker. Like with your own eyes, this one here is a lot darker. So the camera is being tricky. It's like, I'm just going to make it look funny for her. Okay, that was just some of my darker pink. I'm going to add a little bit more of my mid-tone, my regular tone pink in here. And kind of smooth that out just a bit. Guys, that looks really bright on camera. I'll just tone it down just a tad. I'm going to try and make a darker line with my primary red right behind it. Maybe right in here too. Yeah, I actually use the camera on my phone to go over my paintings and look missing spots and/or errors. Yeah, yeah. You definitely pinpoint them on your phone. And then sometimes the color may be off. Like I look at it makes it really hard to, when you're looking through a camera and then you see it, you can see where you miss spots. But other times you can catch images where it looks a whole lot brighter in the camera than it does with your own eye. And if you try and darken it too much to the camera, then whenever you look at it with your own eye, it may end up being too dark. So it's really one of those things where it's like, yeah, I want to make this look good on camera, but I'm the one who's going to have to hang this up on my wall, and I'll be noticing that it's way too dark or way too light, and then I'll want to go back and try and fix it if I didn't varnish it already. I have some paintings that basically I worked, like these lights that I got in here are super, super bright. And when I try to make it super light, like my Christmas one, the snow and everything looked like it was like I was doing good with it. Then when I got done and hung it on a dark wall, it was almost like it was too light. So I'm having some issues with that. I didn't varnish it because I'm like, I might just add more to it. So I'll just leave it hanging until I figure it out. Yeah, it does take a lot of balance going back and forth. Yep, it does. I totally agree with that. 100%. I'm putting another coat of my mid-tone color, which is just the color by itself, not mixing it with anything. But I'm going to have to put some highlight and some shadow in here. So I'm going to use, of course, my paint spray. Love my paint spray for just about everything. And I'm going to take a little bit of it, a little bit of my blue, maybe a little bit more of the paint spray. Let's mix this in, and it creates a darker blue. Try and get it in there. I don't think that's a piece of, no. I almost made that look like a piece of straw. It's like, I didn't think I put one in there. Nope. Okay, so we created just a little bit more of that shadow, a little bit thicker, looks like a half egg. I'm going to take some of my regular base color here. I'm going to try and make that a little bit more rounded, a little bit more of a smoother transition. Okay. I'm going to take just a pinch of my white and some of the blue. That way I can make it more of a highlight. And we're going to make this probably come down. I don't really want it too far up there. Maybe right in there. I'm going to take some more of my regular blue. My little fluffy brush here, I'm going to try and soften that just a little bit. There we go. I like my little fluffy filbert. It's an oval mop. It's a 1/2 inch oval mop, and I just call it a fluffy filbert. It's one of my fluffy filberts. Let's see here. Like, it just wouldn't. I thought I was done. I had to go back until I'm like, this is getting old. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm still eyeballing that Christmas one. That one ain't over with yet. I thought it was over with, but it's not over with yet. You're There's going to be more that needs to be done to that one. It just looks a little bit too plain. I'm going to put a little bit of that shadow in here, right where the hay is. It's right around those edges there. So now our egg. I'm going to kind of blend that, make it more of a smoother transition there. There, that's better. Then I kind of went out of line on the brown. Just not too bad. Just get a little bit of brown and just stick that in there. I can always shape it up later, but it'll be fine for now. Okay. Get some more of that. I missed a spot in there with some of the darker shadow. Looks good though. Okay, let's go over the egg, the yellow. I'm going to put another coat in here of the regular yellow. Maybe coming down on this side. That was just a neutral yellow. Now I'm going to go with, I call it neutral, but it's like the cadmium yellow medium hue. That's what I use for the base coat. I'm going to go to a cadmium medium or cadmium yellow deep hue. So now it's going from medium to deep. Oops, a little bit too much deep. And if I need to add some shadow to it, I could make it just a tad bit darker. But I really want this a little bit more richer in color. Okay. Now I'm going to take my base color that I use, that light hue, mix it in with some of the white. Get just a little bit of a highlight in there. This is more of my deep hue in here. My base tone. So it won't be as much as the light hitting this one here, this egg. I do have it kind of centered a little bit wonky, but it's okay. Just a little bit lighter, but not much. I mean, this egg is probably going to be tucked in. I want to add a little bit of a shadow to it. So I'm going to take just a pinch of my, what is it called? Payne's Gray. And I'm going to put in a little bit of a shadow in here. And I mixed it in with like the darker yellow. And it's just a pinch. I'm going to take my darker yellow and just kind of smooth out these edges just a little bit. The yellow looks really bright on screen. It's not that bright. It's crazy how it looks. I'm going to use a little bit of my brown. I'm going to try and take that edge away. Oops. I may have went a little bit into my little egg there, but I can always clean that up. The wet brush. I'm going to try and put a little bit more of this in here because it looks just a little bit, it's not really the shadow that I was wanting. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of that red, and I'm just going to take a little small smidge of my Payne's Gray. And I'm going to put that in for a little bit darker of a shadow. And then I'm going to come in and just kind of smooth out those edges, just right around the edges with some of my lighter pink here. There. I like that about acrylic paint. Make a mistake, no problem. Just add water. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's some people that, find it really hard to do our acrylic because of how quickly it dries, but it's so easy to correct your mistakes. I don't know that looks blurry, but yeah, we got this and it's a whole lot darker on screen. Wow, you can even see dust, and I can't even see that with my own eyes. It looks dusty. It is dusty. You can't see that unless it's on camera. I'm like, oh my God, I can see dust on the camera, like literally on my painting. Huh. Imagine that. All right. Well, now I wonder, hopefully I didn't look that bad on camera. It probably picked up all the dust on me. Jeez. Like, let's just pull this out of my attic and start working on it. Don't worry about the cobwebs. We'll dust those off. Go away, dust. I know it was bad. It's like, here, let me show you this. And then look at them like, oh my God, it's got a bunch of dust. That was embarrassing. It's like, don't look at that. Maybe I needed blurry. This one was afraid. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I look like? So now we're going to move on. We're going to do the little mushroom down here. So it is a red and white mushroom. On the reference photo, it was like a little, like wooden one. Let's see here. I can't. That'll be fine. Let's leave that there. So it's like a little wooden little mushroom, and I thought it was so cute. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in. What are we at? We're sitting at. See, I have way too much fun. Time just flies. Let's get this. Oh my goodness, I can hear my daughter. She's on the phone with her friend, and they are on speakerphone. Hopefully that you guys don't pick that up. Be like, what's all that noise in the background? Earlier, they were laughing and screaming so hard. I literally was wondering what was happening. The train and the dust are just rude. I know, right? It's like a never-ending thing. And this is also an old house. I live in an old house. It ain't a new house. It's an old house. Like, I'm surprised I don't have, like, oh no, like a haunted house or something. It's like an old house. And yeah, it's always dusty. Can do my cleaning and dust, but it still comes back. It's like if I dust in one area, it just goes to another area. It's like, here, I'll dust this spot, and then another spot will get dusty. I'm like, ugh, chasing it around. I don't know, but hearing that train all the time, if you were to ask me which would I rather take, it being a little dusty or the train, I would take the dusty over the train. The train annoys me. Me and the train are not friends. Thing goes honk honk, and I'm like, it's you. It's like, no, go away. Go away, train. Okay, so we got a base color in there. I basically used one of my darker reds. I think it was cadmium deep red. Cadmium red deep hue. I want to say deep red hue. I say it backwards. I'm going to take some of my white, and I'm going to take my favorite Payne's gray, and I'm going to mix them together, creating kind of like a bluish gray look. And that is what's going to go on my little circles here. I should have let that dry. Probably going to make pink. So of course I'm going to put them in. If I need to make them darker, I can. Don't really want to make them lighter. But I could if I wanted to. Could go lighter, but okay. So now we got that measurement. We need to let him dry. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, it's a really light wood. So I'm just thinking like some of my burnt umber. And make him more the tan look. Well, we could put in some raw sienna. Let's make it that. A little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of raw sienna. Mix it up. Be careful not to end up making this match the same color as the wood on the bottom. That might look a little funny. If it has texture in it, I am perfectly fine as long as the texture of my brush strokes is going in the same direction as the wood in the reference photo. I like that. And then what I'm going to do for making it darker, we're going to use the burnt umber. And why not? Mix a little bit of that Payne's gray in it. I like Payne's gray. Make it a little darker. We're getting awfully close to the color of the background there. Let's come down just a little bit with it. Now my reference photo does not have the light shining the way it would in this picture. So I'm just kind of like, we're just kind of winging it. Just trying to make it transition really nicely between the shadow and down here. Kind of take this around. We will have to make some lights and some darks on this. So now that our mushroom is there, hopefully it's not too blurry. It almost looks blurry. This camera likes to focus on stuff. Weird. Okay. So I am going to take some really bright. I have my Pyro Red. I'd really like to stick some in there. I really like the Pyro Red. It's like one of my favorites. It's like super bright. I'd really like to kind of stick it in here. Just around this part, like just in this middle area, but I don't want to go all the way to the end. But just in the little like middle area, coming close to the top here, but not bad. There we go. That made it a whole lot brighter. But now I'm going to take my dark cadmium and I'm going to mix just a little bit of my Payne's gray with it. Mix Payne's gray with everything. Like, don't do that. You'll make purple. It's like, it's okay. Just going to go around some of this area here. Maybe like right in there. So I'm making this a little bit darker. Just kind of make that grow a little bit there. Maybe like right in there also. Let's take it right around the bottom here. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with way too much on my brush. And I'm going to, while that's still wet, I'm just going to kind of put in some of my regular deep red. And on top. This is some of my Pyro. And you know, when it's still wet and you go on top, you're kind of you're lightening some of these areas, but then also you're not going as light as it is with the Pyro straight. You're kind of mixing it in and gradually just kind of making it more of a softer transition between light and dark by doing this. So I like that. Now, let's make our little spots. Have a little bit of texture in there. I'm putting straight white on there. Making a little bit of a texture, a little bit of a highlight to that, which I don't know if that'll show up on camera. Looking good. Thank you. I'm hoping that I wish that would show up more like the grays on there, but it is not showing up the way it should. Like the camera is super, it's my lighting and the camera just super dark. But this here is, and I wish I could show you guys. Wonder, here I go with the cameras or with the lights. Let's turn that on and I'm going to unplug a light. There we go. I'm fidgeting with stuff today. I made it a little bit. Maybe that looks more closer in color. Yeah. Maybe just a little bit. It actually looks a whole lot, or not as bright. Let's turn these up a little bit. I don't know. The thing's just going to mess with me. I swear it's going to mess with me. It's like, nope. Let's be mean to her today. Let's trick her with these lights. I'm going to put in some of this brown and Payne's gray. There's actually more the burnt umber and the Payne's gray. There's more burnt umber than there is Payne's gray. But it makes it a little bit of a shade lighter or darker. I'm going to come in with that raw sienna. Let's try putting that straight in. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take some of that white, a little bit of my raw sienna, and I'm going to mix it up. It's going to create more of a lighter color. And right around in here, I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. Oops. Smooth out the transition there a little bit. I'm going to take some of that darker color here. Let me just go down the edges, right around the sides of it. Might have to pull out a little bit more of my Payne's gray. And mix in it. Okay. Looks good. So that is definitely getting to look a whole lot better. The only thing I would say is that with this teeny tiny area underneath the mushroom, where it's like sitting on the wood part right in here, I'd probably come in with more of a straight Payne's gray on a teeny tiny, like, I have to add a little bit of water to that, maybe. I don't really want to add too much if I do. Yeah, let's dip that in water. And I'm just wanting to create just a little bit of a shadow. Right along the edge. It's supposed to be a tiny one, so I may have to kind of recede that line there. It's a little bit too much. Make some little texture marks in there. And I'm going to clean these little edges up. Wet brush. There we go. I like that little mushroom. He's cute. Looks like I may have to do some touch-ups in there, but it's going to be so minute. Maybe just a little touch-ups. But other than that, I really do like that mushroom. He looks really cool. And then we're going to go on to the next. Let's just go. And I know that these here may look a little bit rougher on camera. Now, like I said, if I needed to with this sparkler lighten up, I may have to go back in and add some more highlights to some of these items on here. So that's going to be one of the final things is once we put in that sparkler, trying to make adjustments on everything. So it's one of those things that I like to make a saying, it's not over till it's over. We'll see here. Now let's go ahead and do this last one right here. This right here is like a memorial, little like Memorial Day kind of ribbon. It's the only thing I could really find for like doing something for Memorial Day. So that is a little ribbon. So we're going to pick out some red. I probably won't use primary red, probably like a medium red, I would say. Nathaniel Crimson. That's a deep red. I don't want deep. I don't want pyro. You would think. Oh, here is a cadmium medium red. And then we'll need a, just like a regular blue or a primary blue will work. And then we can always darken it with our Payne's Gray. Of course, white. It's going to be a little bit of a, kind of like what we did here. Mix it in with a little bit of the Payne's Gray. My favorite color. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a spritz on the colors that I put down. We're going to work with red. So let's see here. I do have this looking a little wonky. Let's see what colors we're going to go with. I'm going to kind of toss this. Okay. Okay, I like that. Let's do the red on the bottom, coming across. Okay. So a little bit more water. So there's the bottom color. Now the other, I'm going to go in with this deep hue red. And why does it look like I only have two colors there? You know what? I spotted something I did wrong. The brown on that center is not supposed to be brown. Hold on. So we are going to fix it. There. That ought to work. That was actually supposed to be white. So now I'm going to come in here. Let's continue on with the red while that dries. Okay. And then the last bit of the red here. Okay. And then that white will dry and we'll end up sticking our red in there, but I'm going to stick a deeper red. So let's go ahead and work on the white. And I'm just basically going to use the same colors that I did up here for a base tone for my mushroom, which is basically a Payne's gray mixed in with some white. And it looks to me like the white is in the middle. So it's going to look a little bit like a grayish blue is what it's going to come out looking like. So there's that. And then, of course, it's going to be in the middle. And then that way, if you want to go back and highlight any of this stuff, you can come back and highlight it. Stick this right in the center. Gonna look awfully close. That brown that I covered up with the white kind of had a little bit of an off color, but I can still see where it would need to go. So now we got our white in there. Let's stick our blue, which is just our primary blue. Of course, this one here is definitely going to need to be darkened, but we're going to stick primary in here. It's a little bit too bright, but that's okay. This one here is definitely going to have to be painted over more than once, so it's going to need more than one layer on this blue. This one here is just basically going to be darker. Trying to make a straight line without going cross-eyed. Kind of went out of line there. You can always clean that up. Wet brush. wet brush will clean it up. Oops. Press down that just a little bit too much. Let's take that. Ain't really going to matter because we're going to have to darken it up anyway. So now we're going to come back in and use some of my deep red here. And I may have put just a little bit too much on my brush. So I'm going to be extra cautious here. Here's some of that deep red. Let's see if I can't. There, straighten that up just a little bit. Okay. Some of that deep red that I put up there, I'll make that come down on that. And some of the deep red can be on this side also. Try and clean up that edge real quick before it gets into my blue. There we go. Okay, we're going to take some of that same primary blue and I want to mix it in with some of my Payne's gray. I'm going to darken that up. There we go. Probably should be using a much smaller brush than what I'm using right now. Okay, take that a little bit further. That's better. Looks like it's starting to look like Captain America. Like the color is just a little bit too bright. It's like, all right, I got some Captain America going on. Let me see here. I wonder where my other blue is. I'm going to stick some of it in there. It is actually my Prussian blue. I like Prussian blue. It's like a darker blue. And I like the color on it. I'm going to spritz it here just a little bit. And then we're going to go in. I kind of make that a little bit darker. That's more the blue I like. Just don't want it that dark for the outside colors. So I'm going to take some of my primary blue and mix it in with some of the Prussian blue. Prussian blue. And I have a lot of water mixed in with this. That way it's more like, kind of like doing a glaze. May have to fix some of my white, but that'll be okay. May have to wait until that dries. We're getting that a shade darker. Oops. Went out of line, but that's okay. As long as it's wet, we can still fix it. Going over it with a wet brush. Okay, I'm going to come back in. I'm going to do some more of my red. Still taking the same tone red. I just want to add another layer to this. It's a little piece of that. You can see the brown. There's a little dot that's white. I don't really want to go over that because that's not really a straight line. So I'll probably use some brown just to clean up the edge on that. cleaning up some more of those edges. You'll still have to put in the, oops, I dropped my brush. Oh no. There we go. Clumsy me. That's pretty. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's just little by little, it's getting there. Little by little. I don't know, sometimes whenever you layer and you keep on having to go over it again, I always feel like SpongeBob whenever they do 12 years later and I'm still working on it. Trying to clean some of those edges. Got a little bit out of line with that one. It's okay. There we go. See if we can't darken up. I'll have to be careful with this one. Let's try and darken this up just a little bit. Okay. Okay, and let's get this side. Once that dries, we can always go over it and make it just a little bit lighter. The white. Then again, I want to make this here just a little bit darker. So now we darken that up. I'm going to take some of my primary. Now this is just regular primary blue. Really need to get that. That's bothering me. Oops. I had a line again. There we go again. Primary. I have to clean up that edge. Okay. Feels to me like that one always gets lighter and lighter. Okay, now we're going to go in. I think in those areas it might be just a little bit too. I'm going to take some of my, there he goes, the brush again. Wow. Good job, Dara. Maybe I should just tape the brush to my hand. If I tape it to my hand, it won't fall on my hand. Seems like a great idea. this Pyro. Make that a little bit of a highlight. I'm going to take a little bit of my paints, a little bit of my red, and I'm going to make a dark red. And we're going to come in here and just kind of make a little bit of a shadow, like kind of darken it just a little bit. Even a little bit around the edges here. Okay, and then I want to do the same for this little area in here. I'm going to darken that up. I'm going to use some of my straight Persian blue. It seems to be a little bit wet there. Let's go in with some Payne's Gray and some Persian blue. There we go. And now we're going to go in with a white. And this will be a straight white. And I really would like to make a highlight. Maybe like right in here. Oops. I'm always saying oops. Oops. It's like I want to do that right in here. Oops. I'm full of oopses. I'm full of it. Let's try and smooth out this because I don't really want it too much. I want that shadow to kind of come down about the same area. Ooh, got a little bit too much water. My brush here. Okay, so I made that a little bit brighter. That's still dark. Don't know why it looks blurry on screen. I'm going to take some of my brown, my burnt umber, and I'm just going to make a little strip across that. If I need to make any adjustments on that, I will. I'm going to take a little bit of brown and just kind of knock out that line. So it's just about cleaning up some edges that maybe look a little rough. Okay. Making a little shadow tucked in behind it. And I still think we need some, I'm going to take some of that brilliant blue and how about we mix it in with a little bit of our primary blue. See if that doesn't give us a little bit more of a lighter blue. I just want to come in here and kind of streak it down. Yeah, across my white. Good job, Deborah. Good job. Taking a wet brush and just kind of cleaning that edge up just a little bit where I just decided to get carried away. There. I like that. And I'm going to take some of my Persian blue here. Darken that edge up on the top a little bit more. Take a regular primary and just kind of go from a light to a dark transition here. Let's take some of that lighter color. There we go. And then I'm going to take some of my darker brown, or at least my brown with my Payne's gray mixture, just a little bit, make it a little darker. And I see a little edge here. It may end up having to go even darker than this, but I see some rough edges that I just can't overlook. There we go. That looks better. All right. I think that looks good. And what are we at time? Looks like I went over the hour, but it's okay because I definitely wanted to get those kind of done. It looks really super cute. I like, because I wanted to go with more of an aged look or something that looks more aged. And that definitely looks really cool. Even though the light and the blurriness, I don't know, might be on my side. But looks like that might need to be going over again. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. There we go. But I really like the way the light transitions on this, and definitely got a little bit more done. I wanted that aged look, so if anybody sees this and they are watching it, it's like I wanted to have more of that antique-ish old style, kind of like this aged kind of look. It looks like more of an, I don't know, kind of like an antique-ish kind of look. So I wanted it more rough and not so, I don't know. That's just like one of those, I don't know. I wanted to look old. So yeah, I definitely like the way this looks. I really like the ribbon and I really like the mushroom. I don't know. I think my favorite right now looking at all this is, it would have to be the little mushroom. I don't know. The ribbon's kind of cool too. I mean, the way it looks like it's literally tucked into the cupboard and it's definitely darker in there. So I like the way the ribbon goes. I mean, it's really, really cool. But I really like that mushroom. That mushroom just looks so aged. It's still like, you can tell it's like made up like a wood. And yeah, I really do like it. I probably need to clean up some of these edges. Like I can see some little edges in there that I'm going to have to come back in and probably put some brown where I'm got up close, but not too close around the edges. So yeah, there's going to be like little areas like that where I'm going to have to do some little final touch-ups in here. But for the most part, it looks really good. I like the way that looks. It looks aged and old. So definitely looks pretty cool. Plus that when you get finished with it and it looks a little rough, even whenever you varnish it, it ends up looking so much better with it being varnished. It like all comes together. It does. I love it. Old has character. It does. Yes. And that's what I was like hoping for. I was like, yes, this is going to look really old and age style. We got little Stella up there. I probably need to do, I mean, she's really going to look good. Even if I had to glaze it and like do a glaze or a wash over it just to kind of tone it all down another, like if I have to bring it down some and I tone this whole entire thing and she'll end up being toned down too. So I don't know. That might end up coming to where I might do that, but I'm not for sure. Right now, so far, everything's looking good. If I have to glaze it and tone it all down, then I can to make it look more, I don't know, all toned one color, like one color toned. That would be kind of cool. So anyways, I guess that at least we had a live stream. It really kind of sucks that I guess we can turn this around. I don't know. Really kind of sucks that I can't look at that. See? My camera is all wonky. You can see, oh, that you can see corner of it. Look at that. That looks cool. Maybe it works at a different angle. Huh. Well, the colors are a little better. I mean, even the mushroom looks a little better. Now you can see the ribbon a little bit better. I don't know. There's something wrong, wonky with my camera, I swear. It's like, nope. All right. So anyhow, probably see all the dust all over me too. Be like, oh, she's dusty. So I guess until next time, we're going to come up with a new video. So the video that I'm working on for this week is going to be contrast between light and dark. So we are going to end up working with that. Definitely wanted to go over that with everybody. So that'll be our new video for this week. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and end it for tonight. Thank you so much for coming. And I definitely had a lot of fun. And yeah, if we have to do it this way where we're working off of this camera, then at least we're still having a live stream. I still get to chat with y'all. And yeah, we'll just have to do it this way for now. So I guess until next time, I'll see you. Bye. Thanks for coming. If I know how to do this, I don't even know how to end a live stream. All right. Bye. Yep, not it. See, I don't even know how to end this. Later, bye. Might be a little bit before I figure out how to end it neither. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found it. See ya. Bye.